So today I'll be showing you how to make a katana completely out of paper. As you can see, it looks awesome. Normally they're in paper stores, there's some type of wooden support, but in this it's completely paper, other than the Sharpie and the glue. But that's pretty much it. Extremely steady, I can hold it with one hand. So let's get right into the build. Alright, so to start off I'm going to be using 30 sheets of 8.5 by 14.5 sheets. They're bigger than regular printer paper, just because that's what I get at my local store. I'll be using, this sword will be 3 of these long, so that's going to be over 3 feet, about 3.5 feet. That'll be good enough for the sword. I'm going to be using 30 sheets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread glue on one of these and connect it together, and I'll be making about 15 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. Okay, so here I have 12 sheets of hardened paper, my bad. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create the template. After I made these, I stuck them under some textbooks to make sure that it doesn't warp at all. Because if you leave them out while they're drying, it's definitely gonna warp and it's gonna mess up everything. So you want to start with about like 3 or 4, and leave the rest on the book so that nothing warps in the process. And once I get those, I'll start creating the template. So I set aside about 6 sheets of hardened paper. I'm going to take one, and what I'm going to do is you want to guess, I guess, what half of the sheet looks like, and you're going to spread glue on half the sheet. So I'll just put a bunch of glue here on half the sheet. There we go. And then I'll take my spreader. Again, this is laminated paper, works the best for me as a spreader. Okay, I'm going to spread all that glue around. And that's pretty good so far. And then, once you're done spreading all the glue, make sure you get everything. The better you do this, I've said this a lot, but the better you do the spreading, the better the final product will come out. So now that you have spread on the half of the sheet, you're going to take one more sheet and you're going to put it over what you just did. And that's perfect. Now I'm just going to take my popsicle stick and then flatten everything out. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to go do the other half. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to take my spreader. Spread it all over the sheet. Just like that. Again, the only reason I'm taking such a long time is because I want this sword to come out really, really well. And I think that's about good. So then I'm going to take another sheet and I'm going to meet it right there. And that looks good. And basically you're just going to keep staggering this until it reaches 3, and then it's going to be 4 high. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll put it in a time lapse and start doing my best job that I can, and I'll be right back. So now I've completely finished the template. If you might notice that it's a little bit shorter. I said it was going to be 3 sheets, but it's actually 2.5. And there's a good reason for this, and the reason is right here. So I have this full-size longsword, and it is definitely one of the longest that were ever used. And when I compare it up to here, you can see it's a bit taller. If I had done 3 sheets, this katana would have been bigger than the longsword. I'm not an expert, but I don't think that's the case. So I did make it a bit shorter, and what I did instead of that was I created this 5 layers instead of 4, so it's going to be a lot stronger. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave it under some textbooks to dry, and then I'm going to air dry it for a bit. Basically, I just want this to be dried enough so that I can start cutting into it and create a template too. Alright, so after a bit of sketching, as you bring this closer, you can see that I got myself a template, very rough. Once I cut it out, it'll look better. And once I get this, I can use it to cut out the other parts. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of that out. I'll be right back. So as you can see, I cut out the main blade. Looks decently good. This was my, I drew the template from scratch, that's why it doesn't look too good. And I did already mess up one time, but luckily I had enough space on this one to still have to cut out 2 more side pieces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, I'm going to trace it onto this 2 more times, and actually 1 more time, and then I can create the bevel piece from that, and then cut out 2 of those. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick, and I'll be right back. So as you can see, all 3 parts have been cut out. This right here is the center part, and these are 2 bevels. And how it's going to work is just these 2 pieces are just going to overlay on either side, like that. So here it is, full blade, including the handle. The handle will be added on down here, but as you can see I put binder clips on it so it can dry. It's not even completely dry yet, it's not even close to dry, and it's extremely strong. Like, I'm gonna hold it like this with 1 arm, no bend, extremely strong. So what I'm gonna do right now is, you can see how it's very uneven here. I'm gonna take this sanding block, I'm just going to sand everything down, and then I'll check back once everything is dry. Alright, so now that I have this blade completely dry, what I want to do now is create a handle. So what I did was I created this circle, and I cut out this design so that it would fit. Let me show you that, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fit this on, there we go, and push it. So now with a bit of pressure I can try to probably get it up there. So I'm gonna fit it all the way up, and then I'll be right back. So as you can see, I fitted this guard onto the blade like that. Looks pretty good, but just in case I have some super glue. So I'm gonna take the super glue and just at the top, I'm gonna drop a few drops in, and this will just help make sure that this does not fall out and it's very secure. So that should be enough. I'm gonna let that dry for a bit and I'll be right back. What I've done here is I have a sheet that has glue spread all over it, and I have the handle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start wrapping this piece of hardened paper with glue spread on it. Start wrapping it around as best as I can. Alright, so I've finished the handle. The handle didn't look as good as I thought it would be, but that's okay. I got this bottom part and the grip's all good. Alright, after using a lot of Sharpie, here's what it looks like. That's the blade. And then I just hand drew in what a katana grip looks like because I don't have the wrap or the technique to do it. And then I just have this white strip at the bottom, completely black guard. Better than I expected it to be. Again, this is not my best work, but I just love the way it turned out. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll be back next time.